Right, everyone, welcome back to the Punches and Pundits podcast, episode 2. And we're going to start off with the fight night that happened yesterday in St. Louis. Cannonier against Imavov, a big fight in the middleweight division. And it came with quite a bit of controversy. The finish, Twitter, MMA Twitter is going mad. Jason Herzog, who for me is quite a reliable ref, I have to be honest. I don't know. He had a little bit of a mare with that one.
He was getting a lot of stick last night. Listen, it was a good fight. Very, very good fight. Imavov, for me, impressed me because we've seen the last time he had that step up in competition, he kind of drowned. You know, he's a guy that kind of fights at range. But coming up against a guy like Cannonier, who's been there, done that, not quite become champion, but he's fought for the belt. Tough guy, can crack. We haven't really seen him get stopped. I mean, he's a tough guy at middleweight. Like I said, he's probably the best gatekeeper in the UFC. A very, very good fighter. And it's harsh to call him a gatekeeper, but I just don't see him becoming champion. But Imavov was doing well. If you look at the judges' scorecards, you know, two judges had Cannonier winning, but still, it was 29-28, and one of them had Imavov winning.
Yeah.
But the talk in here is, was it an early stoppage? Now, Imavov did have Cannonier hurt. Cannonier, we know, is a tough guy. He's been hurt before, and he's been known to come back. We've seen other fighters in that same weight class, guys like Whitaker, guys who are very durable. Now, the question is, do referees have to consider the fighter that is hurt? Because some fighters, when they're hurt, you know they can't recover.
Yeah, but I feel like if they go like that, then they're not being impartial.
Yeah, no.
Because if you're taking reputation of like a fighter who's been in wars and like they're willing to go, but you should be fair with everyone. 100%. I feel like, to be honest, regarding the fight, I think it was a close fight for as long as it lasted. I feel like both fighters done good things. Imavov was doing well with his striking. So was Cannonier. I felt like Imavov was, when he was against the cage, he stayed there a little bit too long for me, and hence why, even though Cannonier didn't do too much, there was some control time, which for people, I mean, that's another thing when it comes to judging. Like, how much do you put into control time without damage? But at the end of the day, Imavov found that shot. He found the massive right hand.
That right hand. It was
and Cannonier started doing the chicken dance. And the moment you start doing the chicken dance, you give the ref.
It's not a good look. Yeah.
You give the ref sort of a decision.
Yeah.
And what impressed me was Imavov he went back and he analysed the situation, and he was like, okay, what shots can I land? Landing a few more shots. And the moment a fighter starts looking the other way, that's just never... 100%. Because if there was a door, Cannonier, you know what I'm trying to say? He was heading for it. So, but that being said, and especially I saw this on Twitter, when Whitaker fought Cannonier, Cannonier got hit with a head kick. The 1-2 head kick dropped. So he didn't drop in this fight. He didn't drop. And the ref still let the fight happen.
I mean, even fights like Whitaker Romero, if you remember that second fight, when Whitaker was all over the place, you know, I'd say the ref should know the fighter, but then you're right, it should be impartial. He shouldn't really have his favourites when it comes to guys that are known to recover. But like I said, it's not a good look for fighters to be backing up when they're hurt. Yeah. But listen, both of us, I think both of us agree.
When you're buzzed off, you don't really think straight. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
But then again, it's a tough one for the ref, because what if the guy gets brain damage? What if the ref let it go and Imavov kept putting it on Cannonier, and Cannonier isn't the same guy again?
And you see that much more. You see that much more in boxing.
100%.
Where like the guy, the ref might not stop it, and he's got internal bleeding, and next thing you know, he got a coma and he doesn't wake up.
Exactly. It's not those heavy knockouts that give you brain damage. It's those fights where you're taking punishment, where you're getting too many punches to the head, where you're hurt, but the guy can't seem to knock you out, but he's still landing and you're not answering back. It's those kind of fights where the guy is never the same. So it's not a good stoppage, because we know Cannonier. We know Cannonier's been there. He's been hurt before and he's come back. But then the ref's in a tough position. And that's why being a referee is the toughest job in the world, in my opinion. So I don't really give referees stick. A lot of people go on social media, they slag off referees. For me, you know,
I mean, we've seen worse. We've seen worse with like Bobby Green Turner.
That was horrible. That's what I'm saying.
That was worse than this one.
See, there's guys that do early stoppages, and then there's that. That is a disgrace.
It's hard to find the medium. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
What's his name? Steve Mazzagatti. One of the worst referees of all time.
Dana White went
yeah, we haven't
crazy
seen him
at him.
since. I mean, look,
Yeah,
we haven't seen him since. So yeah, I mean,
finding the balance is not
balance,
easy.
that's
Even
not
the
easy.
best refs and Jason Herzog,
so yeah, Herb Dean's made mistakes.
Herb Dean,
You know,
Mark Goddard.
Yeah, I mean, there's even fights where guys have submissions, the guy doesn't tap, and then
Yeah.
the referee calls the fight, which is another
Yeah.
odd one. But yeah, it's not easy being a ref, so you've
And,
got to kind of give it to him.
But what this means in the middleweight division is that Imavov will crack the top 5.
100%.
And he's asked. Well, by the way, he will never ever get this fight for multiple
No way.
reasons.
Strickland
But calling out Strickland for Paris, I mean, if I ever see Strickland roaming the Champs Elysees or something near the Eiffel Tower, that is not happening. He'll go crazy. Has he fought abroad?
Strickland, no, I think Strickland.
I
mean, he fought in Canada.
yeah.
And you heard what he had to say about that. Yeah,
And he hated it. Yeah. And he hated it. So,
And Canada's not even that much different. It's not that far from the US.
bro,
Anyway,
he thought it was like the Wild West.
He's a wild guy. Strickland.
He has not fired Imavov in Paris. So
they fought before though. They fought before, and Strickland had it his own way.
yeah,
It was a very easy fight for him. I don't think that's a good fight for Strickland. You know,
yeah, he doesn't gain anything. He's gonna wait for his title shot. We were talking about it last
He's next
week.
in line. He's coming off a good win, a dominant win. A good win isn't even giving him credit. He dominated Costa. He's looking for the immediate rematch, or they might do Dracus versus Adesanya.
Yeah, they'll do Dracus Adesanya, and then he'll wait in the wings. But the only thing with Strickland is that he loves being active. I feel like if he doesn't fight, he's not the type of fighter like you see how a Colby Covington waited for the Leon Edwards fight and he waits 10, 11, 12 months.
Right.
Strickland wants to fight.
Yeah, he'll get impatient if they don't give him the rematch in the next 5-6 months. The fact that he barely took any damage against Costa as well is a big point.
They'll announce the DDP Adesanya fight, I say, in the next 1 month.
Yeah, if they announce it, then at least he has a plan ahead. He can look at that fight and prepare for both.
Yeah,
he's been in there with both.
Either one, he had a razor sharp decision loss,
and
he's got a win against Adesanya, which Izzy would want back.
So yeah, I mean,
it's a win-win.
The better thing is the UFC really start announcing Dracus' next fight.
When that's Perth announced, is soon. If they're doing Izzy, they'll want to do it.
Who else can main event that Perth card? Volk is out of action. Volk is kind of from that area.
Keeps putting his name.
Yeah, I mean, Whitaker's already got a fight with Chimaev, another fighter from that region. So the only big name that can really main event is Adesanya.
Yeah,
so Adesanya Dracus is
they're gonna drop a bag on DDP for him to go to Perth and fight Izzy though.
I mean, DDP's a game guy. He's happy to fight anywhere. So
yeah,
that'd be a good fight as well, man. I've always wanted to see Adesanya versus Dracus. I think Adesanya would.
I think DDP is. I mean, Dracus du Plessis. When I first saw him, I was like, what am I seeing? His technique was so unorthodox. Yeah. He got the surgery on his nose.
I was about to say that.
Because of his first couple fights, it felt like he was just
gassing,
he was just drowning. Yeah. And then he gets solid win after solid win, and then he finishes Whitaker, and then he beats Strickland.
He's beaten top guys as well. I mean, you're right. His style's it's not a pretty style to watch for the purists.
But he's getting better though. I feel like he's getting better.
I think since that surgery that you just mentioned, he's been getting better. I think
there's that quote that says once you become champion, like
you get that 10% better, 100%.
You know what I'm trying to say? So listen, we'll watch out for that. Yeah. And then the co-main event. Now this is like a feel-good story, to be honest, because Dominic Reyes has had such a tough, I'd say, since 2020 when he got, obviously he lost to Jones, which was really unlucky because that was a close fight. But ever since he got finished for the belt against Jan Blachowicz,
confidence went. He had health problems as well. I think he had a blood clot or something like that.
Nearly
died. He didn't win a single fight in 2023. So it's good for him to come back in 2024 with a knockout win. Of course, his opponent Jacoby, isn't the best guy in the world, but sometimes you need those kind of fights. And it's the UFC as well. It's the UFC. Everybody can fight.
You need a step back to. But even that, like considering what we'd seen, I mean, getting finished by Blachowicz, Prohaska, even getting knocked out by a jab from Ryan Spann. It honestly was not. It wasn't looking good. You know what I'm trying to say?
Listen, put it this way: if he didn't win last night,
he would have got released or something.
Probably got released. So it was a must-win for him, and he came through. Funny post-fight interview as well. He's calling for fried chicken
in the KFC
I'm just
arena.
Happy for him, a guy who's still quite young, very talented, kind of lost his way a little bit. When you lose a big fight like that to John Jones, a lot of fighters when they lose those kind of fights. John Jones always alludes to this as well. Guys who he beats, their career kind of goes downwards. So it's good to see him back in the win column. And listen, hopefully he can build on it.
Well, he was still ranked 15. when he fought. The only thing is that when it's a step up again,
that's the thing.
because if the odds come out depending on the matchup, I'm not too sure who's in like the top 10 at light heavyweight.
It's a thing where he needs to slowly build up as well. Don't go straight into a top 5 fight. And I don't think the UFC would do that.
No, they won't.
You look at the light heavyweight division as it is. It's lacking contenders. So you don't want to kill this guy, a guy who's fought for the belt before. I know it was a long time ago, but still, he's been at that level.
But to be fair, it was a really impressive finish. I think Jacoby's game plan was it was shaky because he came in, felt Reyes is chinny. I'm gonna put it on him. I'm gonna get him out of there.
But he hung in.
Ran into left, and then boom, started doing the chicken dance. But Reyes' finishing instinct, considering he hasn't won a fight in so long, that was really impressive for me. So hopefully he builds his confidence back up. 100%. He's still ranked. Maybe go for like a 11 or 12, something like that. I'm not too sure of the rankings. But take it slow.
Go for a Paul Craig or something. You know, I don't know if Paul Craig is still in the top 15.
Yeah, he's gone down to middleweight. But he might go back up because he's been losing as well.
He might be one of those kind of yo-yo fighters. You know, like Holland, how he moves up and down in weight.
Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
Maybe Johnny Walker.
Yeah, Johnny Walker. Is that too much of a step up? Johnny Walker's been on a bit of a run. I know he's lost his last fight. But I mean, that'd be a good fight, actually, right? Johnny Walker versus...
be a crazy
both someone's getting knocked out.
Someone's getting knocked out in that scrap. So we'll look out for Reyes.
Yeah.
And another...
Rosas, yeah.
Rosas Jr., now 19 years old.
Full of talent.
The memes, oh my gosh. So basically, we all know what he looks like.
Yeah, you know what it is, though?
His chin. Because, who was he fighting? Tercios or... Yeah. He was in the Ultimate Fighter back a couple seasons ago, but he had a rear naked choke locked in, and they were like, "That chin is long enough to be hiding it when you got it tucked in."
Yeah,
but that's impressive, man. I can't lie. 19 years old, getting another finish. I feel like he's got a chip off his back through losing. You know, when he first came in, Dana White Contender Series, all the hype. 18 years old, he's calling for the strap. He's saying, "Give me Aljamain now."
I didn't like that. I didn't like him calling for the strap.
But at the same time,
it's confidence, but it's too much. And you saw what happened when he had that little step up in competition. The guy he fought wasn't even a top guy, and he lost. So it's a thing where he's still young, still building him up.
Hey, he's got 2 wins in a row now.
Let him fight these guys.
But at least he's finishing them. You know, at 19 years old, you're coming out. You're young, you're energetic, whatnot. But to go out there. You have 15 minutes to finish someone. That's not always easy at 19 years old. 100%. So he is really good.
I think 2024 should be a year where he kind of builds, fights guys who are on his level or slightly lower. Let him get a bit of a win streak, and then I think 2025 or maybe the end of 2024, where he makes that step up. Don't rush it. Him and his coaches, his manager, and even the matchmakers at the UFC, Mick Maynard, Shelby, they should kind of really work on him. Don't rush it. One guy who I really look at when it comes to building slowly is a guy like O'Malley. For me, people were getting at him before. Yeah. He was fighting guys who were not that good. It worked out perfectly, didn't it? It worked out perfectly. He has a very, very good team behind him, good coaches, good management.
And now look, he's a champion.
And who beats O'Malley? I mean, Marab's probably rumoured to fight him next, but
it
paid off. It paid off.
You think Sean O'Malley beats Marab? He knocks him out.
I think Marab is very chinny. He gets rocked.
He's chinny.
He gets rocked every fight, but he's very durable. He gets rocked every fight, and that is not a good thing going into fights. I think he's been getting away with it for a very long time, but I think O'Malley will be the fight where it doesn't work out for him.
It's similar to the Aljo fight. He runs into something.
I think he runs into something, and for me, Aljo is a better striker than Marab, and I know MMA math.
But what Marab did to a wrestler like Cejudo,
100%. I mean, he's a better wrestler.
What he did to Peter Yan.
No, you're right. You're right when it comes to the grappling.
If Marab wins, it's not going to be entertaining. Like we can say it right now, it'll be 25 minutes
of pressure,
and Sean O'Malley can't get him off him. But
it's a case where I look at it this way: Aljo's a better grappler than O'Malley.
Yeah,
it didn't matter. Why? Because Aljo rushed in, got clipped, and for me, Aljo has a better chin than Marab. And I know Aljo's been finished, but Marab gets rocked every fight. Every fight, it's always in the first round.
Do you remember the Marlon Moraes?
He gets rocked all the time.
But he was a zombie though. How he did get slept?
That's what I'm saying. But a guy like O'Malley who's a sniper, who's slick, who can crack, who can counter, who's long rangey, I think this will be the fight where he gets punished for that reckless stuff.
To be fair, talking about legacy, if Sean O'Malley adds, so he's got Peter Yan,
Yeah.
then he adds Marab to.
And listen, let's say he calls out Cejudo as well. I know Cejudo's calling for that Rob Font fight. Let's say he calls out Cejudo after. If Cejudo can beat Rob Font. If he has Cejudo on his resume, Aljo and Marab.
Then if he calls out Ilia Topuria at 145.
Yeah. But you could already say, listen, one of the best bantamweights of all time if he beats those two guys. So
yeah, there's always an argument with 135 about who's the best and who's...
But listen, Dominic Cruz for me still has that.
Really?
I mean, TJ Dillashaw as well. It's a tough one. That weight class was a bit of a weight class.
Yeah, it mixes and matches. Like you have a couple people going on nice runs, and then eventually it ends. Yeah, TJ Dillashaw.
I mean, Cody Garbrandt when he beat Dominic Cruz looked like the best fighter in the world.
One of the best.
Lost the belt. So it's a weird one. But let's talk about that McGregor Chandler fight.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, listen. Yeah, it is happening, and well, they were promoting it throughout the broadcast yesterday. I feel like Conor just he's playing mind games, man.
100%.
He's got Chandler like this. Chandler was about to fly to Dublin for a press conference. And I don't know. I feel like he's just willingly rattling Chandler, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to get him out of his routine, of his game plans, of what he's expecting. I feel like McGregor's just sitting back. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be there, UFC 303. We're going to get it on. But it's on my terms. Maybe he just woke up that day and he was like, do you know what?
Let me mess with him.
I can't be asked to do the press conference.
Apparently as well. I mean, you're saying it's mind games, but what if the UFC are involved? Because they removed the free fight, McGregor versus Diaz 2, which was uploaded on the YouTube channel. They removed that. They took McGregor versus Chandler off the ESPN website as well. So it's almost like the UFC are kind of involved in the mind games as well. McGregor put up a picture.
That's what makes it a little weird. I don't really understand about taking free fights off.
But they put up a promo on the YouTube channel recently.
Yeah, and Chandler said the fight's happening. Helwani was putting out updates every 20 minutes saying, by the sounds of it, it's happening. The fight, well, as we speak right now, the fight should be happening. Fingers crossed it will happen.
It's a big fight as well, a very important fight, a fight that has to happen.
Everyone who watches...
It's important for both as well.
Yeah.
Because you look at McGregor, he needs a win. He lost to Poirier the first in the rematch. The second fight was obviously controversial, leg break, but it's a loss on his record.
Yeah.
He cannot lose 3 fights in a row. He cannot be calling for... he keeps saying he's the best fighter in the world. He's going to become champion again. He's 35. If he wants to become champion, this is his final run. And I don't like the fact that this fight is at 170 pounds.
Why not?
I don't like it because I don't think McGregor's a 170 pounder. I know he's put on some mass, but there's guys that are naturally...
He doesn't want to wake up.
I know he doesn't want to wake up, but do you see him troubling guys like Shavkat, guys like Leon Edwards, even Colby?
He won't have to fight them.
I mean, if he wants to become champion,
he won't have to fight them.
Fight the contenders.
If he beats Chandler convincingly, if he gets a finish, Edwards is already up in arms saying, I want that fight. That fight will happen. He'll skip everyone. And I feel like whatever contender you are in the 170-pound division, you will concede. You'll be like, listen, McGregor is McGregor. Does he deserve it? No. But he's Conor McGregor. So therefore, he jumps the queue. And if he gets a convincing win against a lightweight in Michael Chandler, it does not matter. Edwards, Conor... big money.
That supersedes everything, right? He's the money man. Millions of pay-per-view buyers. And not just McGregor. You look at the guy he's fighting as well. A guy like Edwards, it will be a career high payday. So
and that's what I'm saying. I feel like Leon Edwards would be the perfect 170-pound opponent for Conor in the sense, but also in the sense where, let's say Belal becomes champion. Ain't no appeal in that. Let's say Shavkat becomes champion. Conor doesn't want that smoke, realistically. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So
even Belal's a tougher matchup, even though we both think Edwards beats him.
Yeah,
it's a tougher matchup because he's going to come in with that wrestling heavy style. He's a better wrestler than McGregor.
Yeah,
he probably will take McGregor down. Can McGregor keep getting back up at a higher weight class where he's got a heavier guy on him? So Belal's not a good fight for him.
The truth is, we don't know what Conor looks like. It's been so long. Right. He's gone through a leg break. He's gone through a movie. We literally do not know what he's going to look like. And the unknown is what makes it so intriguing. And the fact that how many days are we away from this? 20 days?
Yeah, it's the 30th of June, so the end of the month. So yeah, it's coming up fast.
So before we know it, we got the UFC countdown. Before we know it, we got the UFC embedded.
They've got to reschedule the press conference. I mean...
They won't do it in Dublin now.
I mean,
They'll
they've
do
lost a
it.
big opportunity,
They'll
in
do
my
it.
opinion.
Yeah, but they'll do it. They'll do it in Vegas on a Thursday, just like they always do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
overall,
doesn't really need promoting. Listen, this
Yeah.
fight will do 1 million buys regardless.
everyone
the
he
card's
hasn't
decent as
fought. He
well,
hasn't
so-
fought since 2021. The way he lost was a leg break. Even non-MMA fans will be tuning in.
They're not-
Everywhere,
Guys who
your
are-
feed on Instagram, your feed on Twitter, everything will revolve around Conor McGregor.
Yeah, even guys who are hardcore boxing fans who watched him fight Mayweather have kind of switched over to MMA just to see him fight. His haters, we know Paulie Malignaggi will be watching. So we say, listen, man, we want to see McGregor back. And it's a big fight for Chandler as well because, you know, he wants to make his money. They both were kind of coaches on the Ultimate Fighter. He's waited out this long for this fight. So for Chandler to miss out on that payday would be a tough for him as well. But
No, he's
listen,
not gonna miss out on it. And even if Chandler loses, he would have fought the who's who, had big fights. His legacy is he was a fun guy. Yeah, he didn't become champion, but
he fought everyone.
he fought everyone.
multiple
Charles, Dustin,
organizations.
Gaethje, Conor.
Yeah.
He game opponent.
He's a
always
game opponent. He's a game
Yeah.
opponent. Yeah.
So and another thing we need to talk about is the whole Masvidal Nate Diaz situation, which I have to be honest, when the news came out for that, I wasn't that excited. I'm not that gassed for it. I mean, when was the BMF fight? 2019?
Yeah, 2019.
So Masvidal gets the win. Obviously, it was a bit controversial
Yeah, it was a
because of the cut. I mean, Diaz scar tissue is like
him and his brother, they're known to cut easily, but
yeah.
it was a bad cut. But listen, it's Nate Diaz. You don't need to stop the fight. Another one of those guys who can fight through adversity.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the ref, it was the doctor there, and the doctor really has to go off cuts and stuff. And listen, it's dangerous, so
Yeah.
it's not a good one, but we've seen it happen many times.
But yeah, I'm not too. I mean, it's one of them. Honestly, it's one of them where it'll be on. I'll know that it's happening and I'll tune in.
Of course.
But no one's getting finished in that fight. I mean, Masvidal.
So
We
what is
saw
it,
what he
10
looked
round?
like. We saw what he looked like at the end of his time at the UFC with like the Gilbert Burns.
Fight?
I'm not even sure if it's a 12.
It might be a 10 round.
10 rounder, yeah. And then Nate Diaz, like, he doesn't really have knockout power. Yeah,
Nah, it will. Listen, Diaz didn't impress me against Jake Paul. And I don't know who the better boxer is, Jake Paul or Masvidal. You've probably got to say Jake Paul now, and it hurts me to say.
which is crazy. That's an alternate universe.
You see that bro? You
honestly.
see that bro in the press conference?
Yeah, I mean,
these
realistically, like, Masvidal and Diaz, like, that's what they're about. You put them in a room or you put them outside, press conference, adrenaline, testosterone. There's gonna be a scuffle.
These
Do you
two
know
were
what I'm trying to
always
say?
respectful to each other. They were cordial. Even leading up to that BMF fight, they were shaking hands. They both respect each other. But something's happened along the way. I don't think Diaz really appreciated Masvidal's comments during the press conference where he's kind of talking down on jiu-jitsu. I mean, they're both MMA guys. It's kind of sellout behavior from Masvidal. You're on a boxing platform and you're kind of putting down the sport that gave you everything. And we know Diaz is a proud black belt. You know, I mean, if you remember back in the day, McGregor was making fun of him for training little kids. I think he really takes a lot of pride in
You got
jiu-jitsu as
balloons
well.
on one hand and that one.
Exactly.
That quote. But
Exactly. So it's a thing where it's a weird one. But listen,
when
I
is that? Is it this month or next month?
That's July 6th. So
Start of
I think
next
it's a
month.
week after the McGregor fight. So it should be a good 2 weeks of fighting. But yeah, you know, that's a good fight. But let's speak about the little clips that have been coming out. I don't know where they've been coming from, but I've been seeing it all over Twitter.
Yeah,
Instagram.
what is it called? The UFC.
Yeah, those little
basically
clips.
the inside the documentary, and basically they're just like showing the discussions that Dana White and Hunter Campbell. And let's talk. I want to start off with. Not a lot of people talk about this guy, yeah, but Hunter Campbell is the real mastermind of what happens in the UFC. Dana, Sean Shelby, they listen to him. He's a true matchmaker. When you watch those clips, yeah, and he's like, right, John Jones ruptured his pec.
Let me try explained it, he broke it down.
Yeah, and then he's like, all right, let me try and make Charles Oliveira against Islam Makhachev, UFC 295. And he's just like, what do you think of this? Dana White is like, yeah. He goes under the radar.
Yeah.
But I feel like I
Dana's
noticed
a
it as well when like a lot of the fighters like, yeah, thank you to Hunter Campbell.
yeah.
Or he texts me and he's always because he's the truth.
I spoke to Hunter on the phone.
Yeah.
You know, Hunter's the brains, but Dana's a face.
Yeah.
But it's good
And
that
then
Dana
Shaw Shelby, I think he's the lawyer or something.
Yeah, but it's good that Dana has good guys around him, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, Dana can't do the whole thing by himself.
Nah, no way. To match make and like one thing about the UFC is you get the fights that you want to see. More often than not, you get the fights that you want to see.
That's what separates the UFC from any other organization. I think the UFC really set a precedent in MMA especially. And you're seeing other organizations do the same thing. Bellator, PFL, they're putting on the best fights in their organizations. It's because the UFC are doing it. So boxing really needs to follow suit.
What did you think of like the specific clips? So like Daniel Cormier speaking to John Jones at a fight meeting.
That was very, very awkward.
It was awkward, isn't it? Yeah,
DC didn't really want to be there. John Jones, you could see he was enjoying it.
Yeah, he was trying to be nice,
Jones
but like in a sarcastic way.
He's a little wind-up merchant.
Yeah, he is.
He knows what he's doing. DC's obviously a professional. He's not a fighter anymore. He's always been a good guy as well. So it's a thing where, listen, I'm happy for you.
But he was a truly though. He was like, what did he say? He was like, I'm happy that you're trending towards becoming a better person or something along those lines.
Didn't make any comments on him winning the heavyweight belt. Probably doesn't even
No,
care.
it was before. So this was
before?
yeah. So basically, the footage.
Yeah, you're right.
The footage was just before he fought Cyril Gane.
You're right.
That fighter meeting, and then obviously we got footage about when he spoke to Dana and Hunter, and Hunter Campbell knew about the extent of his injury before him, which is mad. He was like, right, you're going to be out for 6 to 12 months, and then you just have John Jones's face just drop,
proper sad,
and then you're just like, damn. Another guy that was included in some of the clips was Aljamain Sterling. And I mean, you know, the quotes that Dana's had where he's like, when he was champion, he didn't help himself and whatnot. And they did apply a bit of pressure for him to fight Sean O'Malley though, because he was complaining about, I got injuries, if I can make it and whatnot.
And didn't O'Malley suffer a rib injury as well? Was that
So they showed the footage of how he got an injury. So they were both kind of...
They both won 100%.
They both weren't 100%.
O'Malley followed through. And listen, when you take risks, it pays off. And this is in everything, not just fighting. You've got to take risks.
Yeah.
O'Malley took a big risk going into a fight like that, where he had a built-in excuse if he lost, and it paid off.
I don't know if he mentioned it before.
I don't think he did as well.
Yeah, I don't think he mentioned it before.
Post-fight, if he had lost, it probably would have come up. Not from him, maybe his team. But listen, it paid off. So you have to respect that. But another thing that I saw as well, which was a very weird one, was... He put up a clip of Strickland kind of talking crazy in a press conference, talking about how...
Oh, the PR team?
Yeah, the country's gone downhill since women got the vote. And listen, we don't agree with that. Just put that out there.
No, but Sean Strickland...
He's wild, he's unhinged, and he says stupid things. But Dana White is known to let fighters say whatever they want. So the fact that they showed a little clip of Dana's kind of team...
Well, yeah, so the PR team, I think it's for them to be more in check of they know exactly... They don't want to get caught blindsided. So like Sean said something outlandish and then they don't know about it and then they get asked. Yeah, so every single time, especially when he was champion, you have the champion, more questions, more media, everything like that. So they have to be on their P's and Q's and know everything Sean Strickland said. Obviously his comments are wild, but even so Renee, you always hear Dana White saying, Renee...
She kind of led the meeting.
Yeah, so... She said, "Oh, so Sean's just being Sean."
Exactly.
So
she knows.
And she was a woman, so I don't know, but like
they can't do anything to him. For me, when it comes to fighting, you see all the time fighters say wild stuff. We can talk about McGregor versus Khabib.
Yeah,
McGregor stepped the line, of course. You can even look at Dracus Adesanya dropping M-bombs.
Yeah.
No matter what these fighters say. On fight night, they're getting in the cage, and the guy that is standing or the girl that's standing in front of them will try to knock them out, try to give them brain damage. For me, anything a fighter says, it's not as bad as that. So you've kind of got to let everything slide. These fighters know what they're doing.
And ultimately, if you're really unhappy about what someone said,
exactly,
there's nothing compares to being able to put your fist.
Nothing compares, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So fighters are a bit weird where they can say what they want. They're going to get in there, and they have to really pay for their words.
Yeah.
Strickland has to be able to defend... to back himself and to back his talk. Same with McGregor. McGregor talked all that wild stuff to Khabib. Come fight night, Khabib dealt with him. So let the fighters say what they want. Come fight night, we'll see. The fight, what's beautiful about fighting, it's almost like it's a judgment day for fighters. So it's the perfect balance.
To be fair, when it comes down to the documentary, I am a little bit surprised that a Netflix or an Amazon Prime didn't snap it up.
I didn't
because
I didn't really see Netflix.
They're saying, oh, it's for free. I think it's Roku or Roku
I've never heard of
Express
that,
or something like that. But I was trying to, and then it says unavailable in your area in your location. So I don't know. There's definitely going to be a UK platform. It might be on Fight Pass at some point.
Or someone will scream
Because we want to watch it. Us UK fans, I want to watch it. You're telling me there's insight footage of like matchmaking, of like fighters talking. That is the content we all want to see. I think all UFC fans, all MMA fans, we can agree.
I don't think the fighters will be happy that that's been released. Seeing kind of the
they'll know the camera was there.
Yeah, but no, but the fighters, guys, like, I mean, it didn't really make Aljo look good. The fact he was trying to kind of avoid the fight. There was even a clip of Kamaru Usman's manager Ali.
Oh yeah,
they were trying to make Shavkat versus Usman. Ali was trying to put Thompson in there.
Yeah, Stephen Thompson.
So it's a thing where
yeah.
You know, I don't think Ali or other managers who kind of want to protect their fighter. It isn't a good look for them, but still, you know, it's a good thing for us to see the transparency, the fact that the UFC and Dana White are trying to make the big fights. But when it comes to MMA managers who are obviously trying to protect their product, it's not a good look for them. But let's talk about that actually. You know, Khabib kind of acting as matchmaker, trying to make that Shavkat fight.
Well, didn't he try? What happened to his promotion? What is it? Eagle FC?
Yeah, apparently Ariel came out and said it was a whole money laundering
scheme.
Where,
Yeah.
And apparently Khabib owes millions to the Russian
Conor
government.
McGregor was like, he was happy about it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, McGregor will never.
I honestly thought,
respect him.
and do you know what? It's actually funny because like when you think of the big rivalries we've had, in fight, in like sports, in combat sports history, you're thinking Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, stuff like this, George Foreman's Muhammad Ali, any sort of rivalry that we've had throughout combat sports. Obviously, Khabib's retired, but Conor's actively fighting. But when you think, would they ever sit down?
Never.
It's too far. It's too far gone now, isn't it?
I mean, he made a comment on Habib's dead father. I don't think you can come back from that.
Yeah.
But even then, you know, there was a lot of wild stuff said in those press conferences, and it's a thing where, you know, where Khabib comes from, you even see Makachev kind of
with Dustin Poirier,
to, you know, mother, you know, even though it has a different meaning.
Yeah, because Dustin kind of said it.
Yeah. But if you actually break it down, what he said, you can understand why Makachev would take it the wrong way. He's not a native English speaker. So where they come from in that part of the world, it's all about respect. And once you cross the line, there's no coming back. So I don't ever see McGregor Khabib sitting down at a table or a desk, shaking hands, you know.
But that's literally like the biggest rivalry in MMA history. Maybe John Jones, 100%. Daniel Cormier, but they're less known.
If John Jones and Daniel Cormier see each other, they'll shake hands, but they'll keep it quick. Like, they don't like each other, but they'll shake hands. If McGregor Khabib run into each other, it is on site. There's no shaking
even
hands.
Till this day.
On
site. I feel like
not
it's
just
the teams.
McGregor.
I feel like it's the team. Even Islam Makhachev was like, let's do team v team. Let's do.
Not just Khabib. If he runs into Makhachev, if he runs into Zubaira, if he runs into Ali Abdelaziz.
And this all stemmed from Artem Lobov, who's not even cool with Conor McGregor. He's suing him.
It's sad.
It's actually mad.
The guy he flew out to defend, the whole reason why this beef started.
And they're not
even friends anymore. And he tried to actually, I mean, I don't know the insides and outs, but it was something to do with him. He was trying to make some money off Proper 12. Apparently it was Artem's idea.
Yeah, and then he wants a percentage. And then it turns into a whole mess.
Yeah, but that's how it is. When you make money, when you become rich.
Yeah, I feel like
you know what I mean?
There's making money, and then there's making Conor McGregor money.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably be a billionaire very soon. I mean, there was news that came out, and Ryzen have made a deal with Bare Knuckle.
Is it?
So apparently they're going to put on events with Ryzen.
Do you think we'll ever get Conor fighting in Bare Knuckle?
I think eventually.
Really?
The fact that he's part owner now of Bare Knuckle, so it would make sense for him to promote the product. That's an easy million buys as well.
If you had to guess how many more fights we're gonna get out of Conor McGregor in the UFC?
I mean, the guy fights once every 2 years. I mean, you look after Cerrone, which was in 2020, right? Or 2021.
2020, January 2020.
Exactly.
And then did he get an injury or something? Well, COVID happened.
So we didn't fight.
And then he didn't fight until January 2021,
exactly.
the Dustin fight. Then he fought in the summer of 2021, and then obviously he got the leg break.
So if he can keep consistent, if he can win against Chandler, I want to see him fight again very soon.
But if he beats Chandler, he gets a title shot. Then
I don't think getting a title shot is smart. I think fighting for the BMF belt is smart. Going back that to
The
155.
BMF belt.
Going back
Going
down to
for Max.
Fighting Max in a rematch at 155.
Okay.
If he beats Chandler, is the fight.
But Max in the meantime would have fought Topuria.
If though, I don't think Max fighting Topuria is smart as well, because it's a weird one. Do you put the BMF belt and the UFC belt?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Ilya Topuria is saying, I want the BMF
Does
belt.
he become a champ? Is it really a champ? Because the BMF belt isn't a championship belt.
What about this that I saw? Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, BMF belt.
That's an amazing.
Oh my god,
that's an amazing fight. That's an amazing fight.
Because this Charles Oliveira, Colby Covington at 170, I saw all of that. Don't want to see it. Do not want to see it. Max, but yeah. At 155,
100%.
Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira, rematch, BMF belt, locked in. That is a scrap.
Amazing fight. Like I said, it is a.
But that's if the BMF is not put on the table. But Ilya Topuria can't call shots like that. He's not that guy yet. No way.
The belt, defend your belt against. I mean, you've got
against Max.
You've got Max, defend it, but don't put up the BMF.
Max just beat Gaethje. He's got all the clout. He's got all the even more than he had before. I mean, Ortega's coming off a good win against Rodriguez, but it's not the same. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's not the same.
100%. That Holloway fight is a fight that will happen. But I just think Holloway's in a good spot right now at 155 pounds. Just beat Gaethje. Stay at 155. Why are you going to cut weight? You look good at 155. You look durable. He can crack as well 155. So why would he go down in weight?
Do you think Max would look worse if he went back?
He wouldn't look worse, but why damage your body? I don't understand. Unless it's for the belt. Any other fight, stay at 155.
Do you know what? That reminds me of one thing I want to talk about, and it's in the featherweight division. Evloev saying no one wants to fight me. Sterling won't be ready because there was rumors about that fight. On Twitter, guess who replies back to him? Lopez. Make Lopez Evloev again. That fight was crazy. Every single time Lopez was going for crazy submissions, he was this close from getting Evloev out of there. Lopez has proved that, he's that guy. Finished in Youssef.
He's a dark horse.
He's a dark horse. And if he beats Evloev, rights that wrong.
He's in the mix.
I want to see Topuria Lopez down the line. I got all my stocks, everything, putting all my chips on the table on Lopez. I've seen it. This guy is honestly one of the most entertaining fighters on the roster. And it's a matter of time before he cracks the top 5. But if he can do that against an undefeated fighter like Evloev on a full camp, knowing what we saw, knowing what he was able to do, especially on the ground with the submissions. But I think he can crack Evloev.
You've even got Aljamain Sterling in the mix as well. That one,
you got Aljo as well.
That 145-pound division, for me, it's the most exciting it's been in a very long time.
What about Aljo Ortega?
Aljo Ortega's a good fight for Aljo, but I don't think Ortega wants that. I think Ortega's going to hold out for the belt.
Nah, he's not gonna get a title shot. He needs to fight one more time.
I don't think he deserves a title shot, but he was sort of promised. I don't know who promised it. If it was a UFC brass, if it was people on social media, if it was the media. But the talk was the winner of him versus who did he fight again?
Calvin Kea.
No, the Mexican guy. How can I forget his name?
Who?
Ortega fought.
Oh yeah, Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rodriguez. How could I forget that name? He fought Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah.
The winner fights Topuria in Madrid. That was the narrative.
So
he's kind of sticking to that, and I don't really see a fighter.
Ortega, in terms of following and etc., can't chat to a Max Holloway or even a Volkanovski.
Of course.
So why would Topuria?
Well, Volk's out of the mix. Volk's.
But he keeps putting his name in the hat.
Yeah, but he needs to relax as well. I've always said the people that manage Volk. Oh,
they need to sit him down.
They want the guy to die, bro. I don't know what's wrong with the guy. Is coming off.
He's talking about 303.
He's talking about I'll replace McGregor. What's wrong with him, bro? Take a break,
literally. Nah, but honestly, the 145 division, I can't lie. But Lopez, because the thing is, they put Lopez on UFC 300, so they're high on him. Was he? He was just on the prelims, or did he just make the main card? I can't remember.
I mean, but that whole card was stacked. And if you could fight, the first fight of the night was Cody versus Figueiredo. So he dealt with Sadiq Youssef, who's another top fighter as well.
Bro, he's a top 15 guy who's got some solid wins on in his resume. So Lopez, his next opponent will be I'm all for the Evloev because I want to see him. I want to see him against Evloev again, full camp. But even you give Lopez Rodriguez just coming off a loss. You make a Lopez Rodriguez. Oh my gosh, the matchups.
Crazy, yeah. There's a
There's
a lot of
because
options.
Lopez can strike and then he can grapple as well, which I mean.
Would you say Lopez is the toughest matchup for Topuria in terms of?
I think we need.
Strike,
I think
grappling.
the samples. I think the sample size from what we've seen. I do need to see
Him against a grappler.
Well, we saw him against Evloev with no camp.
Yeah.
He gave Evloev a serious fight.
No, I'm talking. We want to see Topuria versus a grappling heavy fighter.
Well, he fought Bryce Mitchell,
and
he submitted him.
I know, but is Bryce Mitchell the grappler? Evloev is the grappler.
Josh Emmett.
Yeah, but we saw what Josh Emmett done to Mitchell. That's not even. Yeah, I mean, every time I think of Josh Emmett, I just think of that knockout. I mean, that was bad.
Bro, Josh Emmett, like pound for pound.
Yeah, he's
swinging your right hand.
Pound for pound, he's the hardest hitter in the UFC. I don't care what anyone says.
Whoa.
I don't care what anyone says.
Let me have a think right now.
Pound.
Pound for pound, Josh Emmett's the hardest hitter.
The guy was having a seizure, bro. Did you see him?
Hey, I shouldn't be laughing.
Nah, yeah, messed up. We can't laugh at that, but that was.
Damn. Hey, listen, nah, because he's got. Do you remember the one against Ricardo Lamas against Johnson back in the day?
When we look back at his record, he has one of the
crazy
best
knockouts on his resume. Yeah,
in the history of the UFC.
Damn.
So yeah, he's one of those fighters. Even if he goes on a losing streak,
he's always got that one chance.
He's one punch away from ending your life. And this guy, yeah, he's a
problem.
Bro,
he's scary.
He's a problem. What is he? He's getting old as well. He's
like 40. He's like 39, 40, and he's just swinging for the bleachers every single time.
You know, he reminds me. He's not as good as him, but like a Dan Henderson. But he was always that one right hand away from.
Well, Emmett fought for the interim championship. Obviously, he got finished.
Yeah, he got finished.
To be fair, getting submitted by Rodriguez is not. It's not great, innit?
No, it's not.
But yeah, pound for pound is a real argument for Josh Emmett. I don't know how we got here, but
listen, tell us in the comments.
Let us know in the comments. Pound for pound, who is the hardest hitter
in the
UFC roster right now? But yeah, and then another thing that's made me laugh so much is Neil Mopay. So basically, no, if you watch football, this guy's the biggest troll on Twitter I've ever seen. Yeah, the fact that he's a pro baller, but he's been training MMA, and he's been calling out like Arsenal Fan TV and whatnot. But he was going for single legs, double legs, stuff like that. He was swinging punches.
Mopay is the biggest wind-up merchant in football. Kicking, I mean, he's a funny guy.
See the picture where he's throwing darts? He's holding a dartboard because Madison didn't get into the England
team. He'll be on the
team.
sidelines as obviously he's on the bench, and the ball will come out. He'll kick the ball away from the player, so he can't take the throw.
Nah, he's a troll.
He's a big one.
My question is, who would be a prem baller or a footballer that you think could get in the octagon?
You know, I was thinking about this, because you did ask me this the other day. I don't know anyone that's playing right now.
I have one,
but a guy who was in the Premier League, Diego Costa.
Oh my gosh,
an absolute nut job, unhinged. Reminds me of Strickland a little bit, where he's just a bit wild. And the guy would scrap every single game in the Premier League he had. He would scrap something.
Costa's a good shout. I can't lie.
He barely got sent off as well.
Mine is, yeah? Antonio Rudiger.
That's another one. That's a good one. He's another unhinged.
See how he runs, bro.
Yeah, he's unhinged as well. There's a few of them.
Bro, he would go
Pepe.
Damn.
You know, just
no technique though.
Yeah, just wild guys.
At least no Mopay's training technique.
Yeah. I mean, who else is there? I mean, Wayne Rooney. I mean, he got flattened by what's his name, Phil Bardsley. So yeah, that's where we can't put Wayne Rooney there. I can't lie. Yeah, Wayne Rooney's tired. But who else is there? Zlatan.
When he done that celebration.
Yeah.
Bro,
yeah, nah. You got Zlatan as well. Who else is there?
Zlatan was training taekwondo.
No, Zlatan's flexible as well with his kicks and stuff. I think he done
he done
taekwondo or karate as a kid or something, because he can kick. Who else is there? Ramos. Just the hard guys in football, innit?
Yeah. And then
even Eric Bailly. But we're saying they can fight, but I reckon when
they can't fight. They can't fight. If you put them in the octagon. Yeah. But another thing, the reason why I'm laughing so much is another thing happened yesterday.
What happened? Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. I'll let you say it.
Oh my gosh, I can't stop laughing. Wait, let me get my composure back. Eddie Hall.
Eddie Hall, yeah.
Wait, who commissions these things?
Yeah, I saw that.
Eddie Hall, who's the world's strongest man. Wait, let me come. All right. Eddie Hall, who's world's strongest man winner. So this guy's a unit, and he was fighting two dwarfs, small
How
people.
much? Apparently they were brothers as well. How much do they weigh? Do you think?
I don't know, like 40 kgs.
Yeah. They were tiny.
He flatlined one.
Yeah, I was looking at it thinking, there's no way a proper commission would commission a fight.
Do you know where I think it happened?
It wasn't.
I'm not
in
even
the US.
lying. I think it was in like Romania or something.
Yeah, it had to be in one of those kind of places because there's no way a proper
You ain't getting that commission in the
but
UK.
It's illegal.
But he punched him like he was fighting Tom Aspinall.
Exactly, and he flattened
I could
him.
not believe what I was
It
seeing.
was a disgrace. It was a disgrace. And you see these kind of weird fights where you've got a massive guy. I saw one the other day where it was a guy similar size to Eddie Hall fighting two women. And they weren't
Yeah.
Like, who's commissioning these things? And it's not a good look.
But we're
for
talking
MMA.
about it today, so it's like it reaches an audience. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
It's not a good look for MMA as well. You look at those kind of things where
That's dangerous. That's a
it's a disgrace.
I don't know what he weighs, and that like jokes aside, laughs aside, like that could be brain damage. I hope he's okay. Like no word of a lie.
He flattened him. Like it's not like a normal knockout with a guy.
Bro, he got stopped straight away.
Bro, he fell, face planted, arms by his side, like he got shot in the head or something. Bro, it's crazy, bro. I can't lie. I don't want to see that. It's not a good look for the sport.
Yeah, but I can't lie.
It's not a good look for the sport. And listen, if Eddie sees this, I'd probably want. Bro, fight guys your own size, man.
Train with Aspinall again, man. We're watching the YouTube videos. Were you punching? Yeah. Bro, he swung,
Or the guy from Game of Thrones that he fought in a boxing match. Fight him in MMA. Why are you fighting these little kids, bro? What's wrong with you, man? Two brothers as well.
Man dropped a Sean O'Malley, Aljamain Sterling on him. You pull back right hand.
Pull back right hand.
That's disgraceful, bro.
I mean, there's somewhere you've got one big guy fighting like 10 of them.
Nah, man.
I don't know.
I can't lie. That is disgraceful behavior.
Listen,
literally.
knowing Dana though, Dana might pick that up and be like, yeah, listen, it's a money maker. Do you know what I mean? So you never know.
Literally, if he's doing power slap, he might do.
Exactly.
Bro, there's money to be made, isn't it?
You're right, To be honest, I'm slagging it off, but listen.
We're talking about it right now.
And listen, if they call one of us to do the post-fight interviews there, I'll go there. I'll happily go there.
Literally, I'll be like, yo, listen, how do you even interview? Like,
just I don't know, man. Try and we're not interviewing those little guy.
I saw him run at me. Pull back right hand.
He'll probably try to swing for us as well. The guy, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, man, that was wild.
Nah, that was crazy.
Speaking of knockouts, did you see that knockout on PFL?
Yeah, the woman,
Chantel Dyer.
So I done a little bit of my research on her. I didn't even know she was a Brit.
No.
She trains at I forgot the name of the gym, but she's UK based. That kick. Do you know what impressed me the most? Yeah, is that she was close. It wasn't like she was too far back. So the woman that she was fighting took full shin bone to the dome.
You know what?
It wasn't no foot action. No. It was shin to chin. And whenever it's shin to chin, it's beddy.
You know what's happening? Yeah, 100%.
It was nasty.
Vicious knockout, and it reminded me of Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Ai. If you remember
shout.
That was shin to
Kevin Lee
Gillespie. Exactly. So
we have never seen Gillespie till this day since then.
Yeah, he's not been the same. I mean, of course, he will always have that wrestling, but I think he's gun shy now.
Bro, that head kick was crazy.
We will never see him stand with an opponent again after that knockout.
Yeah. So where was that? That was in the UK. PFL Newcastle.
Yeah.
PFL Newcastle.
But it's a good thing for women's MMA as well, because when you look at women's MMA, it's always the UFC that gets all the shine. We've had Nunes, Cyborg, we've got Valentina, Ronda, Holly Holm. We've just not what I'm saying like I'm part of the UFC, but Kayla Harrison's part of the UFC as well. Yeah. Of course, she's done most of her things. I mean, most of her wins and her impressive performances were outside of the UFC in PFL. But seeing a woman do that in an organization outside the UFC is a good thing for women's MMA. So I'm happy for her. She's a Brit.
She's young. She's 23.
She's young as well.
So hopefully
we see her in the UFC one day, if that's what she wants. Of course, we want her to make her money as well. But it's a good win for her.
Did you see what got rebooked later on in the year? Tyson, Jake Paul.
Yeah,
honestly, like jokes aside,
it's not even
jokes
funny,
aside. Mike Tyson is a legend of this game, of the combat sports game, and
who's advising him? I mean, his coach is the guy that coaches Gastelum.
Yeah.
the Brazilian guy. I mean,
Yeah.
I should know his-
Cordero?
Cordero.
Yeah.
I mean, as a coach, why are you coaching him? He should be going to gyms, Mike Tyson, asking for coaches, and everybody should decline. But listen, Tyson,
But
we
there's
respect
too
you, we
much-
love you,
There's too much
but
money.
we cannot coach you to go in there
What-
and get
what-
knocked out by a YouTuber.
So it got rescheduled because he had a ulcer, I believe. Is that what it was?
Yeah, he had some health
and then he
problems.
had like a whole.
Yeah.
He had like a sort of a fit in a plane and
We're
stuff.
seeing him with a walking stick. He doesn't.
Bro, it's
He
not
looks
looking
very-
good. You
I
see,
mean-
every time they ask Dana White about it, and he's just like,
I mean,
I love Mike Tyson, but it's like,
who's commissioning it? Because it's not the zone.
how old is Mike Tyson?
He's
He's
pushing
touching 60.
I think he is 60 or close to 60. You look at the zone. I don't think the zone are doing the fight.
Mm.
It's not any of the big American organizations. It's not Top Rank.
Yeah,
Who's commissioning this? Who's the promotion behind Jake Paul? Is it his own promotion? And
I think it is.
Most
Yeah.
Valuable Promotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a disgrace. I don't want to see it.
All these gimmick boxing fights.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about gimmick boxing fights.
Yeah.
Look at KSI. He just announced he's gonna do a 2v1 like
yeah.
This-
So he's gonna do what Eddie Hall done.
basically, but not against
Yeah, you know what
smaller
it is.
people.
You know what it is. Listen, he can make his money. I'm not against YouTubers fighting each other. I actually support that stuff. It's entertainment. They're making their money. I'm against YouTubers fighting old washed up fighters. And Mike Tyson's a legend, but he's 60 years old.
Yeah.
I can respect KSI a little bit for not doing that. He's not calling out a legend.
Do you know the one part that I don't understand? Yeah, is that Jake Paul and, for example, KSI. Yeah, they take the route of they start fighting, like KSI fights Tommy Fury. Jake Paul starts the competition. You feel like it's leading into something.
Yeah,
And then you announce Mike Tyson. What is going on?
Yeah.
You're taking. So you're building. You're trying to build up cred that you're a decent
But it's
boxer.
not, yeah.
And then you're just like, all right, well, we're making a money move again. And
but
we're going for Mike Tyson.
That credibility kind of went when he lost to Tommy Fury, though. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
He tried to go in there, all right, I'm fighting a boxer similar age to me, who's undefeated, and he lost.
Yeah.
It was a decent fight, close fight, but he lost.
Yeah.
Now, anybody who has a bit of ambition would go back to the drawing board and fight a guy who's also a boxer, maybe not as good as Tommy Fury. Not that Tommy Fury is the best boxer in
But
the
he
world.
wants names, though.
Yeah, but
This is what I'm
that's
trying to say. He wants names.
I either go legit and be a boxer or do this nonsense
He's
that you're
calling
doing.
Canelo out, isn't it?
Come on, man. I don't know, man. There's that
Bro.
fine line for me. If you're a YouTuber, stick to the YouTube stuff. Fight boxers who are similar to you if you want to make that leap into pro boxing. You can't stop them. Do your thing, but do not fight guys like Mike Tyson.
Do you know
Someone was
what?
talking about, you're going to go fucking... I mean, I can't even repeat it, bro, but... Try and dig a boxer out of the grave. But yeah, it's a disgrace.
Do you know what actually made me? So basically, I was doing another project, yeah. And to become a pro in MMA, you could just decide to be a pro. You could just be no need for no commission, no need. So you could have one amateur fight. You could have one amateur fight and be like, right, I want to turn pro.
Yeah.
So literally,
The
when I
amateur
heard
scene,
that,
it's not like boxing where the amateur scene is proper set.
yeah, when I heard that, I was like, yo, like what? You could choose to have 1-2 amateur fights. You want to go pro. Next thing you know, you come up against someone who's just gonna snuff you.
No.
Literally, like what?
That's the thing with MMA. There's no real amateur scene. There's no real transition as well.
Yeah,
It's almost as if
a lot of the regional promotions, what they do is they have amateur fights and they have pro fights. But I mean, I just found that wild that you don't have to like get a pro license or anything like that. You just you just decide, right, I'm pro, and then you just.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Jimmy Manoa start MMA super late without an amateur record?
so many
and
many
just went
fights.
straight into pro, and look how it worked out for him. So I don't think
Yeah,
that
but
works now,
that's
though.
it. That was-
That's back in the day. You're right. It's back in
Yeah,
the
and
day.
Jimmy Manuel, like, look at
He
him.
had that nasty knockout power. Another
Bro.
guy who's on the pound for pound list for heavy hitting.
Yeah, but do you remember talking about the?
He's a heavy
Do
hitter.
you know what? I rewatched a fight of his not too long ago.
Against
Thiago Santos against Jimmy Manuel.
that
my
was a wild fight. I remember that fight as well.
Yo,
They both
Thiago
hurt each other.
Santos before he went gun shy, yeah. He's top 10 scariest guys. I've ever
Another
seen.
one
And the
to
fight
add
that
to that
Kevin
list.
Holland went on short notice to fight him.
Yeah, that's why everyone loves Holland though. Like I said,
Bro,
that's why Dana loves him. You know he's gonna pick up the phone. So
Nah,
it's
literally. And then we got the Chimaev Whitaker
Yeah.
in not this weekend, the
In 2
weekend
weeks,
after.
yeah, 2
I think we
weeks.
got an Apex got an Apex situation this weekend, and then it's Conor.
And then after that, we've got Masvidal Diaz. So it's looking like
And
a
then
good summer.
Yeah, it's looking like a serious fight.
But one thing I want to mention as well, obviously past summer, we go into October, November. That's kind of when the UFC go to New York with MSG.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do Jones versus Stipe MSG, but obviously Jones had to pull out.
Yeah.
One fight they tried to make kind of short notice, not too short
Yeah,
notice.
Charles
was
Islam.
Charles Islam. And Charles refused to fight because he felt...
No, his cut hadn't healed yet.
Hadn't healed yet. What's your thoughts on that? Because he was getting a bit of stick, but...
Honestly, I'm sad about that situation because obviously with Charles losing to Arman Sarukian, he's gonna have to get back to the drawing board and get a couple more wins for him to possibly get a title shot. But I'm not saying he would have beat Islam, but I just wish we would have, at least if he would have lost again, we would have been like, listen, that's that. But style makes fights. And I am still convinced to this day that Charles, that wasn't the best version of Charles when he fought at 280. And it's hard to say because he lost to Sarukian, but that's still a fight that I'd like to see down the line. But yeah, I mean, Dana White was fuming. He was just like, why are you sparring literally the night before flying out? And I understand, but shooter box, these guys, they're built different. They're wired different.
All the way
they'll spar. Imagine Strickland going to shooter box.
Yeah,
it would be murder.
He'd fit in perfect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There would have to be an ambulance outside the gym. Like people would just spar till.
But obviously, Dana White does talk about how if fighters do get injured leading up to a fight, they should really call the UFC first before a doctor. Yeah. Because the UFC have the best doctors available. They've got the best plastic surgeons available. Yeah. They know where to put you. They've got experience.
Yeah, the fact that he done it himself, that was a big mistake. Yeah. So, last thing I wanted to talk about, you know who announced that they've got a fight booked?
Was it Calvin Kattar?
Well, yeah, I'll quickly talk about this. Yeah. Calvin Kattar losing to Aljamain Sterling and then getting booked against Nelson, who's not in the top 15. Oof, that's a chest hitter right there. Yeah, his stock took a hit in that fight. Mean,
it's crazy because
he ruptured his ACL against Allen, but like the fall off between Allen, Aljamain Sterling to then fight an unranked Nelson. I don't know what streak Nelson's on.
I mean, he definitely is on a winning streak.
I'd still favor Kattar. I feel like that's a bit.
Kattar's a favorite, but listen. I think it's a fight that makes sense because Kattar's on a losing streak. He's 3 losses on the bounce.
3
losses on the bounce.
Who was the first one?
It's 3 losses. I can't remember the first
one. Allen Richard.
Arnold Allen, Aljamain Sterling, and there was a fight before that he lost as well.
But
I can't remember the name. But
the guy I wanted to speak about is that apparently Yuri Prohaska's got a fight booked. So that's what I'm intrigued to say. To find out. That's what I'm trying to find out. So, have they done?
So they've announced he's got a fight booked.
Well, he said he signed a contract to fight. The UFC are gonna announce it soon.
I mean, it could. Is it
Pereira rematch? Maybe.
I think Pereira rematch.
But if they do, Ankalaev has been snaked.
No, he has been said, but we haven't heard from Ankalaev. He's not been vocal on social media recently. Yeah. You know, his management haven't come out.
Him not. He may that draw against Jan Blachowicz is really like for the interim belt. It messed him up.
He has the toughest style for Pereira.
Yeah, I would. I would favor. Fight. Yeah, 100%.
He has the grappling, and he can box. Yeah, he's not some scrub who's gonna lean in and let you cook him. Yeah, he can box. If anything, where Pereira has the significant advantage is the leg kicks. We've seen him get kicked by Blachowicz. If Blachowicz is making you wobble on the feet, in terms of the shins, Pereira's gonna have a field day. If he can kind of work on that and really work on his calf kick defense, which is not an easy thing to defend against a guy like Pereira whose kicks are very hard to read. You know, he's a guy where he has no backlift and there's no telegraph in those kicks, so it would be tough to stop and nullify. But if he can get through that, I mean, it's tough to say he's the favorite,
especially consider. But I'm saying if they made the Pereira Yuri fight again, I
don't think it's
he got finished in the second round. Yeah, it was a bit contentious and stuff, but the UFC is about making money. So
if anything, do the Ankalaev fight. then do the winner against Yuri. And that's why I
Yeah,
say
but
the
they
light
want
heavyweight
Pereira.
division-
They want Pereira to stay champion as long as they can because
Yeah.
he's
No, he's got a
he's got a massive following now. So
everyone's just
it
saying
makes
Shama. I don't know what that means. What
it
does
means
Shama-
let's go,
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, it's like his phrase. But
Shama.
what it is as well. I mean, why don't you give Anthony Smith a shot? You know what I mean?
Nah, I don't want
No,
to see
I'm
Anthony
joking, I'm
Smith.
joking. Yeah, I mean he should relax. But listen, Ankalaev, give him the shot. The winner should fight Yuri, and you know it's the same guys fighting each other again and again.
It
but
is the
the
205
light heavyweight
division.
is unfortunately there's not too many bodies in there. That's why I said Dominic Reyes. They should build him up because he'd be another fun contender to put in.
Mm.
You know, of course, it was looking like Anthony Walker would kind of get another shot, but
Yeah,
you know, it's a thing where he's lost his last.
Khalil
fight.
Roundtree just
And
lost
it was
a big
Ankalaev that done him as well. Khalil
big
Roundtree,
opportunity, and then we got Jamal Hill.
Jamal Hill versus Oberg. If Oberg can win, and listen, I'm putting it out there. I think Oberg wins that fight.
Is it?
I think Oberg
Okay,
wins
big
that
call.
fight
First big call.
because of the timing of the fight. You look at Jamal Hill.
Mm.
He's coming off a knockout loss.
Yeah.
He's making a quick turnaround.
Mm.
Funny thing is, he's fighting before Pereira, who took no damage. Jamal Hill took all the.
But I've seen Oldberg get finished though.
Yeah, but Oberg since that finish has been on a crazy win streak. He's not lost since then.
Yeah, I know he's not lost,
since then,
but
and he can crack, and he is a fast.
if
Is it
fair
gonna be-
enough,
Is
but
it going to be a 5-round fight, a 3-round
it
fight?
depends.
We don't know.
Oh,
You know, the
yeah,
UFC
but
did that
yeah,
nonsense
with the
three-round
with the
fights.
co-main,
If it's
they
a
do.
5-round fight, Jamal Hill can kind of weather the storm early on.
But it depends
into
what
deeper
Jamal Hill we're
waters.
gonna get because he got.
We are
he got-
definitely. I mean, definitely is a bit too forward, but it's hard for me to say and see the best form of Jamal Hill because he's coming off a knockout loss.
Mm.
We may get a Jamal Hill that's not the same.
gun shy.
We gun shy, a bit chinny, a bit.
But do you think?
nervous.
Oh yeah.
Or we may see a guy with a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he's coming out. He's talking a big game.
Oh,
saying-
yeah. No, Jamal
he's
Hill.
saying he's gonna-
Give me
me,
whoever
yeah.
wants to come to the gym. You
20
got 20 grand right there.
He's a bit
He's a
annoyed.
bit sensitive.
Yeah, he's a bit
Uh,
annoyed as well. So
But I understand,
It's,
like he literally, and yeah, because Pereira was just like, you reap what you sow in a comment, and then he was just like that, and he was just like, yeah, well, I'm gonna remember. I've got no hype for seeing that fight again until Jamal Hill, even if he beats Oldberg, need to see him beat someone else
no,
again.
he's definitely not getting a title shot for a while.
He'll be Ankalaev maybe down the line or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if he can beat Oberg, if the UFC book Pereira versus Prohaska
Yeah.
and Ankalaev is still without a fight,
Mm.
they can book Hill versus Ankalaev.
Mm.
It's a good win for. I mean, it would be a good win for Ankalaev if he can beat Jamal Hill,
Yeah.
a former undisputed world champion.
Yeah.
And if he gets through Jamal Hill, he's got the title shot locked in
Mm.
my opinion. But yeah, the light heavyweight division is definitely not one of the best divisions in the UFC. But let's talk about divisions in the UFC. What is your favorite division for you? What's the best division in the UFC? And I'll say mine
It's
after.
been lightweight for a long time.
For you, lightweight.
But obviously, there's a bit of a change in the Lagarde when it was like Dustin, Gaethje, Charles, Chandler. Obviously, we'll put McGregor in there. You know, there was a bunch of killers. Then 135, 170, 185. But I was lightweight for a long period of time. It was crazy. Like Alvarez back in the day as well. RDA. Nothing but
Yeah.
killers. So
No,
I'd
the
probably
legacy,
say-
the lightweight division, legacy-wise, I'd agree with you as well.
Mm.
But for me, the current best weight class in the UFC, it has to be bantamweight. I just look at bantamweight. There's just so many good fighters. O'Malley. I mean, I know Aldo's gone up, but there's O'Malley, Cejudo.
You're still putting a lot of stock on Cejudo.
I
Like
still listen. If he wants that,
I'll name you a dark horse in the 135.
Son
Yadong. Yeah.
I know that guy, man.
Son Yadong.
You've even got
Peter Yan.
Peter Yan, who's getting a lot of disrespect, but a very, very, very slick striker.
Yeah.
Can grapple. Technically, you've got
But
to say he's one of
even
the best in the UFC. Technically.
even the more under, like Kyler Phillips.
Phillips.
Those that have just
Those
broke
guys
into the
who
top
are-
15.
Yeah, those guys are just. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many. There's Sanhagen.
Yeah,
There's
Corey.
so many top fighters.
Corey against Umar.
Umar's another one, another top fighter. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's a very risky fight for Corey.
That's gonna
Sanhagen.
be. We can talk about it just quickly
Yeah.
before we wrap up.
Yeah.
But Corey against Umar, that's probably one of my. That is one of my most. I'm excited to see that because I'm high on Umar. Yeah, I have been for a while. But Sanhagen, that's a true step up for him. True step up.
We'll see what he's about.
And that fight is happening in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, yeah.
So Corey Sandhagen is going, you know, a little bit. He's not fighting in America and
he's
whatnot.
going
I'm
into-
sure he'll get a great reception.
No, he's getting booed. I'll be real. He's getting booed all the way in. Of course, Umar, all of his fans are going to be there. I wouldn't say enemy territory, but
Sandhagen
will be a bit hostile.
The UFC would have definitely said, you beat Umar, you're getting that title shot,
he
which
should-
makes sense.
He should be getting a title shot.
Yeah.
It's just Marab.
Him v Sean O'Malley.
That's a chess match. That is
Him v Sean O'Malley.
That is for me, that is the highest level of striking in a title fight we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time 2 elite strikers fought for the belt.
Peter Yan and Sandhagen for the interim.
Yeah, but then again, another bantamweight bout.
That was a crazy fight.
Which kind of proves my argument that the bantamweight division has the best fighters.
Yeah.
And listen, if you disagree with me, if anyone's seeing this and disagrees with me,
let us know in the comments, or if you're listening on audio or Spotify, anything like that. Yeah. Let us know what is the best division in the UFC at the moment, and which division is more of a dark horse that you feel like there's contenders coming up that are really going to put in some serious work. But yeah, that was Punches and Pundits episode 2. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're listening to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to follow us so that you're notified whenever we're putting the episodes out.
And we've said some wild things today. We've said some points. If you disagree with us, comment down below.
Yeah.
Give us some recommendations, any topics you want us to cover in the following episodes.
Yeah.
And yeah, listen, we'll cover everything you say. We are for you guys. Punches and Pundits for the fans. We want to bring the MMA community together. And listen, like and subscribe.
Peace out.
Take care, guys.